Welcome aboard. It's Captain G to Global War 85's Turning Point 5.3 Soviet Global Command. All right, so get comfortable, pop your popcorn, pull your comfortable chair up. We're going to have a long turn today. First up is housekeeping. So working backwards on the NATO turn, they did their strikes against the terrorists, and you probably noticed it yourself if you watched it. He said I needed a 7 or less on this. He rolled a 12, but fog of war, he took the terrorist off when that should have been a miss. So we put him back. Prior to NATO, we go back to the U.S. turn last time, and this was a housekeeping issue we discussed after, but NATO didn't bring it up, and nor did Warsaw Pact, but you do your allies. So this amphibious task force that invaded Cuba, they went import. They're not at sea, and that was a decision made wisely to give them some AMD protection in case they needed it. Who knows why. And then for the Soviets, there were a couple SAMs here that were supposed to move to Afghanistan, and an ASF whip in Murmansk that was supposed to air redeploy. That was caught on the status of forces corrections, but not on camera for you. So if you're watching from home and confused about stuff, that would do it. All right, so let's jump into technology on the planning phase. The Soviets are going for PGM. We're at stage 1 finally. That was our first success, but we're going to keep going. Tech 3 is computers. Tech 5 is CAT drive. Tech 11 is advanced sonar. I can't even read my own writing. And then advanced airborne is Tech 14. That's new. Sorry, I apologize. Tech 14, that's advanced airborne, and that's new. All right, so 5 dice into the randomizer. All of them need 8 or more. All right, 1, 2, 4, those are terrible. 9 is computers. That's helpful. That is great, and I'm adjusting something off camera for no particular reason. That's good. And then number 11 is advanced sonar, moving us up to stage 2. Advanced sonar stage 2. And computers stage 3. Computers stage 3. All right, so now let's go back to the purchases. We're going to start with military aid. We are sending our Indian allies a fighter with the Red Skies discount of -1. Their 4 arms sales, so 8 minus 5 leaves you 3. We're going into our regular build. We're going to build upgrade 1 airbase to a major. We're going to build a Top Gun ASF. We're going to build 2 light infantry. When we get to the fleet card, we're going to finish the battle cruiser, the heavy aircraft cruiser, and the cruiser that are on the build chart all in stage 2. They'll move them to stage 1. We're going to build 1 frigate. And then at this time, we're going to pause before we get to missile production, because the Soviet Union is declaring war on the United States. That moves the US to DEFCON 2 and full income for DEFCON 2. We're going to declare war on NATO, and mastermind to this whole thing, we're going to declare war on Pakistan and Nigeria. So with those declarations of war, but primarily with the first 2, Soviets are at war with major powers. Right now we have four major air bases. You can see that from our AWACS aircraft. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are my major air base markers. The one that we're upgrading obviously doesn't produce anything, so we're adding 4 cruise missiles. We do have a total of 5 major ports, so we're adding 5 anti-ship missiles, normal, and then 5 P700 Granite anti-ship missiles fired by the battle cruisers. Okay, so now let's move directly to combat. We have a lot of combat this turn because this is War 1. So I'm going to put you in a position of observation. Hold on. I think when I looked at this earlier, this gets most of the map in view, and I may have to adjust some. I'm going to call them out, and then we will resolve them. I've got green dice. Green dice involve territorial control. We have blue dice, which are off camera, and I'll get to that later. And then we have black dice, which are cruise missile surgical strikes. All right, so we'll start with green 1, which is Akershus. In Akershus, let's see. I gotta see what task force markers you can see. How about there? Okay. So in Akershus, I've already moved the NATO defenders over, but importantly for the attack forces, I have 2 task force markers. One is going to move into Akershus, and I'll tell you what that is here in a second. This helicopter airborne air force is going to move into Akershus and then blitz into Battle 2. So I've separated them to make it quick and easy, okay? So Task Force 1, the land task force, out of Svealand, we're sending in 1 next-gen MBT, 4 mechs, we're sending 2 rocket artillery, we're bringing 2 SAMs. On the air assault task force, we are bringing 3 attack helicopters, 1 air cav, 1 fighter, and they will be able to blitz. This task force is being augmented from off the carrier, the super carrier here, 1, 2, a fighter, and it will blitz. And off the amphibious assault ship, 1, 2. This one doesn't get a movement boost, so it will go 3 into this and then 4 be able to land here, okay? So 3 fighters, 3 attack helicopters, 1 air cav as part of that blitzing force. Additionally, and I'm just confirming because I want to make sure I wrote it down properly. Yes, I'm sending both ASFs from the fleet carrier. They will not be able to blitz, so their only target anyway is the fighter here in Akershus. And then out of the Baltic states, 1 backfire bomber to do carpet bombing for the first round. So I'll leave them on the map because they're going to have to, actually I'll put them with the armored task force so I don't forget to roll for them. All right, so that is green 1. That is battle 1. I'll put that on the task force marker. Battle 2 then, the air assault troops will blitz into Battle 2. They'll be supported, or actually they will be supporting, the ground task force coming over the mountains from Svealand, 1 next gen MBT, 1 mech, 1 artillery. I'm not bothering with chem because NATO has completed chem and they are immune, as am I. And if you're only rolling 1 artillery, there's no benefit to it. If I had 10 artillery, I'd roll chem anyway. But with 1, I don't. Coming out of Murmansk, 3 mechs to join that task force. 3 mechs and 1 SAM out of Murmansk. 3 mechs and 1 SAM. So that is Task Force 2, Battle 2. And again, NATO is already over by where we're going to roll. Battle 3 is Denmark. So, NATO conveniently pulled all their submarines out for me to make a wall of steel to protect, I guess, southern Greenland. I'm not really sure what they're protecting. So I'm going to move from my fleet, the amphibious task force, 1 zone, and this ASW helicopter will have to come off this. I'm moving in ships and we'll be returning aircraft in here. So at this point, he's going to have to land, but we'll get to that later. So the amphibious task force has 3 Marines, an MBT that will land on round 2, an attack helicopter, a battle cruiser, and 2 cruisers that will be firing shore bombardment. The balance of the surface fleet will also be moving in, but for now, I'm going to move over that well, I'll move it all over because under combat movement, I need to establish the ASW. So I'm putting an ASW in A10, A6, and A7. It's part of that fleet moving down. Okay. All right. So that is battles 1, 2, and 3. Denmark, Akershus, and Nordland with the air assault forces. Let's go to green number 4, which is just off camera for you in Africa. And I'm moving these task force markers over because I'm not planning to come back here for a while. All right. Let me move you down. Let's go down here. So, task force coming out of Angola, the airborne assault troops. The airborne 1, 2, supported by the air cav 1, 2, and the fighter will be attacking the oil-rich nation of Nigeria, and their lone infantry is already over there with the other task force markers. So that will be ground battle 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, I did have a change. 5 and 6. Okay, so let's come over here. 5 and 6 are walk-ins, unopposed, because Pakistan doesn't have the strength to oppose them, and the U.S. decided to send naval military aid for their own benefit rather than ground forces for the benefit of the people of Pakistan. And don't think that this will go unnoticed for the rest of the world. So you'll note that as soon as the U.S. and the Soviets are at war, based on the terms of the random event, all Indian forces on the map are replaced with Soviet units because India aligns to the Soviet Union. So that moves our income from 40 to 44 just for India aligning us. 44 is our new base without combat. That's just politics, really, with India aligning to us. And now if they had units, Pakistan would align to the US, but you'll note if you look down here, the submarine force for Pakistan has become US, okay? So those are now US nuclear submarines and diesel electric. So ground battle number 5 is just a walk-in out of Afghanistan, 1 mechanized infantry walking in to secure North Pac, and that's a +2 IPP. And all of these walk-ins and things all add separately as opposed to this. And then down here, number 6 is South Pac, which will also walk in. And that walk-in is this whole Afghan task force, consisting of 2 SAMs. I'm leaving the air up here. Air has a different mission. But I'm bringing an MBT, a mech down here, as well as from Hyperbad, let me just 2 more MBTs. So 3 MBTs and a mech in southern Pakistan with 2 SAMs. Yep. Okay. So those are, and they're walk-ins, so we're really done with them. 5 and 6. All right, we'll skip the air for now and naval. Let's go back up here to these black dye. Now, NATO does not have AMD technology, thanks to some outstanding saboteurs working within the NATO defense industries and denying them that technology that even Hungary and Czechoslovakia have. So you would think that I'd be able to do cruise missile strikes on any facility in NATO, but my targets are these POMCUS sites. They're the yellow sites on the map where the US can produce ground units in support of their NATO ally. Okay? Those POMCUS sites are actually US facilities in Europe. They are not NATO facilities. So their damage is paid to repair by the United States, and the defense of those facilities is the responsibility of the United States. So they actually get the US AMD. Most games, that's a minor detail that's not really noticed, but in this game it comes up because of NATO's technology shortfall. So out of the Allied air base shared by the Soviets and our Warsaw Pact brothers in arms, we are firing 1 cruise missile into the Benelux POMCUS site in an attempt to damage it. They do have 1-shot AMD to defend. And then our Bear bomber from the Baltic states will fly down to Austria, fire 1 cruise missile south at the POMCUS site in Lazio, and 1 cruise missile east at the POMCUS site in West Germany, and specifically in Rhineland. So I got a cruise missile headed this way and a cruise missile headed this way from this T-95 Bear complement. So that regiment's firing those 2, and we're firing that. So that's all 3 of the black dice, and we will roll those. I'll move these over so we can resolve them. We got defense and then damage, hopefully. And then the final battle, the main event, if you will, is down here in the Indian Ocean. All right. You see blue 1 and blue 3 because blue 2 was canceled. I was looking to send a fighter against these tankers, but I don't have precision guided munitions, so my fighters cannot target aircraft. That's an important thing to remember, because fighters do have ASW, but I couldn't send them after these subs by themselves. They need to be paired with a unit that has sub-detection. So this whole attack got scratched. The fighter got remissioned. And the fighter I see is now off camera. The fighter got repurposed and is joining the main battle. But before we get there, let's do Blue 1. In C-Zone I-4, there is a lone Soviet ASW helicopter. I am sending my nuclear submarine in I-5 into I-4. We are now at war. So he's on ASW patrol. I do not have cat drive yet. So I have to stop because I'm going to fire 2 anti-ship missiles into the fleet. So he gets 1 shot to try to kill my submarine before I fire. And then I get a fire, and it's only the movement. He gets to shoot on my movement. So that is Battle 1. It's just a one-sided NATO torpedo drop. Battle 2 is the entire USS Forrestal task force here under attack. So I've already alluded to this submarine firing 2 ASMs. I have a diesel electric and a nuclear attack submarine up here in the Persian Gulf. They are magnanimously lifting the blockade against the United Arab Emirates. My nuclear attack submarine is moving to I-11 and then I-8 and firing 2 anti-ship missiles up at the fleet. So you got 4 ASMs coming in from the south. The diesel electric is joining the battle on I-7. And all of these units, I have doppelgangers for everything except the air. Do I have doppelgangers? No. I just put the actual units. So I'll put that over there. So that's that submarine. Joining this attack, I have this Soviet task force in I-5. This is the Black Sea Fleet moving 1, 2. So the Black Sea Fleet and the 5th Fleet, the Forrestal task force, occupy the same space. Coming out of port, the former Indian Navy 1, 2, as well as the Soviet destroyer 1, 2, already on the battle board. And then for air, because the carrier air wing is on that supercarrier for the Forrestal, I'm going to bring this new ASF Top Gun Regiment out of Volgograd, flying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the end of their, well, they have 1 for the air base, so they could land here if they have to. But my Indian carrier, which is not a super carrier, but it's a regular aircraft carrier, and it can handle ASFs, will be able to take it. So that is going on the map, on the battle board. This regular ASF out of Afghanistan, hence the housekeeping note we talked about earlier, 1, 2, 3, plenty of legs to get back. Both attack bombers, the one from Afghanistan and the Indian one, are going in. Attack bombers do have naval attack capability, so they can target ships. And then the fighter, 1, 2, 3, has enough legs to get back as well. All right, so we will do the rolls for the, and here's the battle board and all those things. So let's not go in the exact order of what was announced. Let's take care of those cruise missiles, because that's fairly straightforward, and we can do that real quick. So I'm going to set aside. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and expedite the process. I don't have to roll for if the cruise missile hits. It's a facility strike. It's just how much damage. Cruise missiles do a D2, so 1, 2, 3, or hammer and sickle 2, 3 is 1 point damage. 4, 5, 6 is 2 points damage. Plus, as an added bonus for the first 500 callers, if you have completed your Ken, you can add 1 to the damage. All right, and then the white die is the AMD of the U.S. defenders of that facility. Okay, get some water because it's like 90 degrees in here. All right, everyone have a sip of water, hydrate, hoorah. All right, so number 1 is Benelux. This is the attack on the Benelux facility. If the white die is a 4 or less, there's no damage. If it's higher, then we'll look at the damage. All right, white die was a 10, and we maxed out on the damage. So that is 3 points of damage. And let me just show you how I'm keeping track of this. I developed this system after seeing what I really like is the system that Tabletop Tactician has at his. His is better than mine. I just grabbed these out of my HBG North Africa kit. This is Jeeps for World War II, but Tabletop has actual Humvees, which look like the symbol in a way. So I'm going to put that Humvee on 3 yellow chips to represent the damage to the Pomkis sites in Benelux. All right, and I won't show you that every time, but so that's 3 points damage. Let's go to battle 2. Battle 2 is Rhineland. We'll do the 2 north. Battle 2 is Rhineland. Same concept. Oh, Rhineland 1. That was a 1 before I moved it. So he shot it down. So nothing. No soup for you. No damage. And then number 3 is Lazio. Lazio. All right, ooh, that was a slow roller, but landed at a 6 and a 6. So max damage, Lazio, 3 damage. So that's 6 out of a possible 9. I'll take that. I will take that. That's pretty good, particularly for D2s. I have no choice in taking it, but I'll take it happily. All right, so that takes care of the easy stuff. And I want to use the big box with all my notes. But I'm not sure what you can and cannot see. Let me see if I can put you up in some superior observation. We're going to save the naval battle for last, of course. You don't get your dessert until you eat your meat. You can't have any pudding if you don't eat your meat. All right, let's see how this works. So battle 1 is the battle for Akershus, and it involves this task force, this air assault unit, and quadrant 1 of the NATO card. Okay, so first strike, let's roll the defending first strike first, and then we'll roll the attacker. The NATO artillery, 1 dice at 3. Oop. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do is take the dice. I'll leave you there, and I'll go over here because I'd never be able to reach the dice otherwise. This is the first strike NATO artillery. 11 is a miss. Now, first strike for the Soviets are 2 rocket artillery at that's 6 dice. 6 dice at 2. All right, so this is the first strike Soviet attackers. And there's a 2 here and a 1 here. Everything else is a miss. All right, so that's 2 first strike hits. If I check my notes, he is going to lose the artillery and then the mechs. So that, I'll just take off the new Brit. So those are the 2. The artillery already fired. The 1 mech did not, but that's the point of first strike. All right, now let's do air superiority. His fighter is doing air superiority. So Warsaw Pact has 2 ASFs at 5 for air superiority, and 3 fighters at 6. And I'll go ahead and roll the NATO fighter. The NATO fighter will be the green and gold. Green and gold for NATO, the alternate green, also at 6. It's going to be long enough. I got to try to expedite it for you. Holy cow. Stay in the box. Stay in the box. All right, so NATO got a 5. That's a hit. Warsaw Pact got a 6. That's a hit. The ASF's missed, and the other. So 1 hit each. 1 hit each. All right, so that kills the NATO fighter. He's the only one that can take it. And I'll lose the 1 fighter that has the short legs. Okay? All right, now we're going to roll for the ground forces. Well, actually, my SAMs get a roll. Maybe I can kill him with the SAM and the fighter hit can go for something else. I have 2 SAMs rolling at 2. This is not first strike. This is not first strike. This is all regular battle now. I got a 1. Hopefully you can see this comfortably. So that's a 1. So that means I do have 1 general hit from the fighter. That takes the place of, that kills his fighter. All right. So now I have, it's mountains, and mountains haven't affected anything to this point, but it will now because now I'm rolling ground. My normal 6 is a 5 for the next gen MBT, and my 4 mechs would ordinarily go to 2, but they're going to be bumped up because they're supported by the air cav. Right? Not the air cav, the attack helicopters. And then, so I'm going to roll that, and then I'll roll the helicopters themselves. I'm looking for 2 more hits to make this a win in 1 round. 7 from the next gen, but a 2 and a 4 from 2 of the mechs. So that's 3 general hits. And I think I've accounted for everything. Let me just roll for the helicopters real quick in case I mess something up, which the odds of that will go up the further we get into it. So I'm rolling a 6 for each attack helicopter, and I'm rolling a 5 for the air cav, also supported by the close air support from the attack helicopters. All right, here's a 2 and a 5. So that gives me more than enough. I already had more than enough, I think. 5 more hits. So that does win the battle in 1 round. And I've rolled for everything for NATO except for his 2 mechs defending at 5s. So 2 black dice at 5s. 12 and a 10. 12 and a 10. Oh, I hope you can see that. But if you can't, hopefully you can. So battle 1 is done. Battle 1 is done. Yeah. All right. So I lost a fighter from his fighter, and that was it. No other casualties, and I took the fighter instead of the helicopters. So be it. All right. So now we move to battle 2. Battle 2 is the same aircraft, different ground units. For NATO, he has first strike SAM. I'm sending a ton of air, so that SAM is maxed out, right? 3 2s. I have 1 artillery, so I'm firing 1 3. Maize in blue, Soviets are blue, SAMs are the 2. First strike and attack 2. All right, here's a 1. Sam got a 1. Those 2 missed, and the artillery missed. Okay. Sam got a 1, and this time I'm going to take the air cav. I don't want to deplete my Air Force too much. Okay. So that's first strike. Now let's move on. I guess the music playlist ran out. I need to get 3 hits. He has 2 mechs and a SAM, and the SAM already fired. and I missed with the artillery. So we have going in, we have 2 fighters at 6. We have, because there's no air-to-air, 1 next gen at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 mechs at 3. Normally attack at 3, down to 2 because of the mountains, back up to 3 because of the attack helicopter close air support. 3 close air support. 3 attack helicopters. Oh, and 2 fighters. And I'll use the dark green for my fighters, like I did with NATO before, just in case target select comes up. I want to kill the mech, not his SAM, right? Heaven forbid I only get one hit. All right, Nordland, round 1. Okay, the 3s only have 1, 3, 6, 7, 5, all missed. There's a 1 on the black, a 2, and a 4 with the fighters. I think fighters need a 1 for target select, so that doesn't matter. And then the attack helicopters were terrible. 11, 11, 7. But I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. He has 3 units, so that completes that battle. I'm going to roll 2 5s for the 2 defending mechs. 2 5s for the 2 defending mechs. A 1 and a 9. A 1 and a 9. That takes off 1, and I will lose from battle 2 a mech. I'll lose a mech. All right, that's it for battle 2, and that's it for the aviation brigade. They're done with their movements. Let's move to battle 3. Battle 3 is the amphibious assault. The amphibious assault, I don't know what you can, I can't see, of Denmark. Yeah, okay, good. Denmark. I know it's far. You can zoom in on your phones, hopefully. So, I have 3 2s, battle cruiser, and 2 cruisers. First strike shore bombardment. First strike shore bombardment. Low numbers. Low numbers. Wow. 5, 1, 1. Hoorah! So that is super awesome, fantastic, because that was battle 2. That means definitely going to get the SAM, and I'm going to hit the 1 of the mechs. Ooh, he's got 3 mechs there. Yeah, I don't have my notes. 3 mechs. So that kills 1 mech first strike. The SAM, though, is a first strike in and of itself, and it gets to fire 1, 2 as well. And that's because I'm bringing in a helicopter. It's the only air unit. So SAM, first strike against that helo, 12. That is a 12. So that's a miss, and that's it for the SAM. All right, so 2 mechs left. Coming ashore, I have 3 Marines at 3. 2 of them are boosted by the attack helicopter. So I have 2 4s. I have 1 3. I have 1 6 for the attack helicopter. The MBT does not come ashore until round 2, until the Marines secure a beachhead, if you will. All right? So 4 dice. I need 2 hits. Come on, Marines. Outstanding. The Marines do not let me down. 2. That's a 9. That's a 9. And the trusty helicopter that the SAM missed. 6 and a 2. That's 2 hits. It's all that I needed. So that ends the battle. But the defender's final shot, well, that determines the battle. But the defenders, the 2 mechs, still defend at a 5. Wow, 5 and a 4. 5 and a 4. Hefty price paid by the Marines. I can't even take the MBT as a casualty even if I wanted to, because he's not even ashore yet. So 2 Marines from the Danes, fighting Danes. All right, I served with some Danes. They're tough people, so I appreciate that. Not happy about the results, but I appreciate it. Good for them. All right. What was that? That was Flak 88. Well done, Flak 88. Battle 4. This is, let me put this out of the way. Move up Battle 4. I see everyone eyeballing the fleet. I can't wait for it either. I'm right there with you. All right, so this is the Soviet Airborne Regiment with the air cav support and the fighter against Bob. Bob is the lone Nigerian guard at the oil production factory. All right, Bob, you're about to earn your pay. I have a 3 from the airborne. I have a 4 from the air cav. And I have a 6 from the fighter. I'll roll them, then I'll roll Bob. All right, I got a 1 and a 4, so I got my 2 hits. Only needed 1, but got to make sure Bob is taken care of. And then Bob also defends at a 4 for Nigeria. Oh, sorry, Bob. Got to roll in the box. He's so scared. It's his first battle. Come on, Bob. 8. 8. That doesn't count as 2 hits, Bob. It doesn't work that way. So that's a miss. All right, so we finished all of the lower slate of fights. We're ready for our main event. Let me just double check my notes, and then we'll start talking about the fleet. Yep, you can see that. I think so. All right, let me get this off. Okay. And that's where everyone's going. So, across the top are our heroes, the U.S. Navy, defending, and the lone NATO destroyer standing with their American allies. The U.S. 5th Fleet, under the Forrestal Task Force, they had an amphibious assault ship defending at a 1, a supercarrier defending at a 2 that needs 3 hits to sink it. So I'm going to get out a couple orange dice, or orange chips for the first couple hits, if it's phased over time. 2 frigates. Now these frigates are going to move into the AMD missile defense first strike. They ordinarily do 2s, but why defend at a 2 when you can defend at a 4 in an attempt to shoot down some of these anti-ship missiles? So that was the tactic by Tabletop Tactician. 2 destroyers at 4, they get anti-submarine target select with a 2 or less, and there are 2 Soviet diesel electrics. There's 1 U.S. Nuclear attack submarine, also a target select at a 2 or less, and there's obviously tons of surface targets for it. And then the U.S. cruiser, there's a attack bomber at 4, and then flying air superiority in round 1 is this fighter at a 6, and then it will be relegated to anti-submarine rolling, and then this Top Gun ASF, that will be rolling. So ordinarily it defends at a 7, but because it's Top Gun, that defends at an 8. So you'll see some rare, we don't even have. All right, we'll have to pick a new color. So that's an 8. On the Soviet side, I got the 4 AMD. I've got a frigate at 2. I've got 2 diesel electrics at 3, an ASW helicopter at 3. Obviously, he can only shoot at the sub, and there's only 1 NATO sub. 4 destroyers, a heavy aircraft cruiser at 5, cruiser at 6, 2 attack bombers at 7 that can target ships. I have a Top Gun ASF, which is at a 6, a regular ASF at a 5, air superiority, trying to wipe out each other's air forces. And then first round only, this fighter at a 6, and then after that, he, like his NATO counterpart, will be down here rolling anti-submarine. Okay? 44 minutes in. Let's go. Let's do this. No music. Even if Alexis gives up on us, we're going to keep going. Alexa, shuffle 85 at war playlist. See what happens. All right, so first strike. I have the 4 anti-ship missiles. So US has 2 AMD shots at 4. 2 AMD shots at 4, and I left the randomizer on the other side of the table. Here we go. 5 and a 9. 5 and a 9. So the frigates missed. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are regular anti-ships, not the P700 Granites. So they're 5 or less. First strike, 5 or less. Woo. 2, 2, 6, 7. So the 6, 7 are misses. So I did get 2 first strike hits. Let me just confirm what I remember, but let me just confirm. And I need my decoder glasses. Converts blurry text into words. Hits 1 and 2 are against the aircraft carrier. So, bing, bing. That's 2 hits, but doesn't affect his ability to defend. All right, well done. That's the first round of out of the way. All the first strikes are done. I'll put him back at 2 after this because I don't want to confuse myself. All right, let's roll some air superiority. We'll give the defenders first. Well, we're going to roll all this when we got the different color dice. So let's do it the way it's supposed to be done. For 8, we're going to use the red dice, the Elite Soviet red dice. That'll be my 8. All right. So I'm going to put that down. That'll be an 8 Elite red dice. So that's my top. Actually, I don't get the 8s. Darn it. I only get a 7, so I get a purple. That'll be the Top Gun Maverick gets the 8, but I'll save that for later. All right, so a 7 and a 5 for the ASF and a 6 for the fighter. This is air superiority hits. I got a 6 for the 5, that's a miss. An 8 for the 6, that's a miss. But my Top Gun got a 1. So yellow is air superiority hits, and I will track 1 hit. 1 hit. Let's keep going. I got a 2 for the frigate. I have 2 3s. Diesel electrics do not get target select, and again, I only have 1 target, so I got 2 diesel electrics. I have 1 helicopter. I have 4 destroyers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 white dice. I have a 5 for the heavy aircraft cruiser. I have a 6 for the cruiser, which also has target select at 1 for surface. And I have 2 7s. 2 7s for my attack bombers. They do not get target select in naval warfare, only land warfare. It's a land target select, not naval. All right, low numbers. Try to roll this end. All right, so here's a 2 for the ASWs, and that ends the career of the attack submarine. The others miss. The 2 missed. 3s I rolled. 4s, here's a 3. 7, 7, 11 are no good. 5s, that's an 8. 6, that's a 7. 7s, I got a 1. I got a 3. So anti-submarine sub hits are blue. So I have 1 sub hit. It's not target select, but he only has 1 sub. But 1 sub hit has to be a sub. Does it have to be a sub? Did I differ? I didn't think I differentiated between these guys and this. These guys could hit carriers. So I'm not going to assume that I killed his sub. I think that's my mistake. His sub is pretty high on his casualty list. So I'm not going to jump to killing that. I'm just going to make that a general hit. So my apologies. You learn as you go. 4 general hits then. 4 general hits, and I'll roll different shades of blue next time. All right, not good, but we'll see. 4 hits. For the defender, 1 are my pink dice, so he's firing at 1. He's firing at 2. I have 2 4s. I have a 3 for the submarine. No. He's a 4, but he's a different shade of 4. I'll roll these guys, and then I'll roll the others. He's a general hit, so let's do this. Where are my alternate colors of dice? All right. Apologies, I'm less prepared than I normally am. All right, so the gray is just a regular attack bomber general hit. The black and red is the target, potential surface target select. So I'll keep going, and then a 6. That's his last one. Okay. Let me just do a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dice. All right, let's go, Team America. All right, the 1 is a 10, miss. 2 is an 8, miss. 4s, I got a 3 as a hit. I got a 6 as a miss. I got a 12 as a miss. I got a 7 as a miss. And I got a 6 hit. So 2 general hits. 2 general hits by the U.S. So that's 2 there. No target selects or anything else. So let's take casualties. The Americans hit number 3. So I need I have those first 2, so that's 2 more. So supercarrier and amphibious assault ship. Those are his top 4. So they're done. Take these off. He's paid his tax. All right. Did I roll his air? I did not. Thank you, Maverick. Top Gun Maverick. Woo! Fog of War. Fog of War. So these are his air superiority hits against my air. Top Gun at an 8 and a fighter at a 6. Caught that just in time. Ooh, 1, 2. 2 air superiority hits. That hurts. I'm not going to lie. All right, so shoot, I messed that up. I took 2 hits off, but that's my tax. Those are his hits. He has 4 that he owes me. All right, so stop screaming. I heard you, Admiral Seabass. Sorry. All right, so let's back up a second. He still owes, I had 4 general hits. He's paid me for 2. He owes me for 2. The next 2 on his list are his 2 frigates. I almost messed this up royally, and it's so hard to unravel later. 5 and 6 are his frigates, okay? So now he's paid that tax, and air superiority, his lowest air superiority, his lowest aircraft is the attack bomber, I believe. Yes, because it has the lowest value. And this is a fight for your life, not long-term investment. So now he's paid that off. He's paid that off. I owe him 2 hits. So I'll take a frigate, and actually I'll take 2 diesel electrics. And that's a strategy. Maybe a good one, may not be. And I'll take, with a 5, 2 and a 5 is 2 air superiority. So my fighter is 1. I can't take the, I can't take this because it's protected. So I have to either take a bomber or, I'll lose an ASF. I don't want to, but it's not really my choice. It's war. So this comes out here now at a 6, but I took out his, he can't shoot air superiority. He can only roll general hits, and I think his thing is only this. So I'm going to roll him unique because I think he needs to retire now. He doesn't have any targets, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to leave 1 on here because I don't think I want to drive anything he's getting towards my air when I don't need to. Maybe that's a mistake. If he doesn't absolutely retire, I don't want to do that. Does that make sense? Okay, so I took off the ASF and I took off my fighter, so I paid his tax. All right, next round. We'll get through this. Thank you for bearing with me. 7, a 3 for the sub, and a 3 for the helicopter. The blue for the helicopter, okay? Because he can only go for the sub. He could be a general hit. 4 destroyers. Naval battles are probably the most complex. A 5, a 6, and 2 7s. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 6 hits, boys and girls. Oh, did I put my air superiority in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I guess I did. I don't feel like I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. 5, 6, 2 3s. Oh, 2. And he's a 7, so that's it. I'm going to use orange for the 2 attack bombers. Orange for the 2 attack bombers because they have the orange coloring. I'm rolling 7s. So this is the air superiority fighter. Okay. Oof. Another disaster avoided. Hopefully. All right, let's get through this. All right, so the air superiority fighter rolled a 6, which I think is what he rolled. Anyway, so he got a 6. It's a hit. The 2 3s are both 10s. The 4s have a 3, and a 4. So very good job, destroyers. 5 missed. 11 is a miss. 11 is a miss. And I got a 6 and a 6 from the attack bombers. So 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. Air superiority, bing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so the U.S. fleet, I believe, is wiped out at the end of round 2. All of the mistakes, I think we caught them. I hope. Let's finish this off. We'll do the black for the sub. We'll do the fighter with the funky green, cruiser green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. All right, here we go. 5th Fleet, final defense. All right, this is a 9 for the Top Gun ASF. That's a relief. A 10 for the cruiser. A 4 for the fighter. An 11 for the sub. A 2 for the destroyer, so that's submarine target select, and a 9, so a 9's a miss. So I think air superiority, he misses. He's got 3 hits. I think these are all 3 general hits because he can target select this, but I don't know what that does to his target. I don't think I have to take an air. If I'm wrong, we will correct it offline with the players. This is the dilemma of fighters that don't have PGM and whether or not he had to retire. So 1, 2, 3 hits. I owe 3 general hits for now. I don't know if I'm allowed to take him or not. If I can, I'm going to take this, and a destroyer. All right, so if I'm allowed to, I'll take an ASW helicopter, a diesel electric, and a destroyer. And if I'm not allowed to take the helicopter for some reason as a general hit, then I'll take 2 destroyers. But there you go. Okay, so the battle's over. Let's move forward. Hopefully that was as fun for you. We're right at the hour mark. We're done with all the battles. We rolled everything we need to roll. I'll replace the ground guys, and I'll do disposition of forces for my fellow players, and we'll talk non-combat movements. Let's go over here. I have 2 submarines. I'm going to move A39, 1, 2 to A43 coming off, silent running. You can come off silent running at any time. This guy's going to stay on silent running, 1, 2, and then come off as we go down here to A44. A44. Okay. Why aren't I hitting those tankers? Because these are the African Nigerian tankers and the oil's been captured. All right, but what this does is this blockades the Atlantic. In essence, it's not necessarily a port blockade officially, but it prevents military aid from flowing down to, say, South Africa or the Middle East or anywhere through the Indian Ocean. He can go through the Med and the Suez, but he can't come this way. All right, so that's those two. What else? I have way up here in Svealand. I have way up there in Svealand a light infantry who never attacked anybody. He's jumping in an airplane. He's going to airlift to Angola. Airlift to Angola. Airlift. So that's it for those guys. Land, air. Land, air. So the Bear bomber will land in Volgograd. How people with large tables do this. I'm used to the 3x6 and it's barely enough room for the table and me. Now I got all this extra real estate that I gotta walk around. I'd be amazed how Ozark pulls it off every day with his 5x10 mega table. All right. So the Bear is going to fly back to Volgograd. Volgograd. The backfire bomber that carpet bombed in Battle 1 is going to fly back. Let's see, what did he do already? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. I think he's got movements of 10 plus 1 is 11. 1 from the airbase, so I think he's good. I'm sure I mapped this out ahead of time, but all right. So in Battle 1, let's pull this up. Well, the fighter down in Africa has got to go back to Angola, right? The helicopter can combat land with the airborne, so that's not a worry. Denmark combat lands, it's not a worry. I have 2 ASFs here at Akershus that did not blitz because they don't blitz. They're going to fly back to the fleet, back onto the carrier. The 2 ASFs in Akershus are going to fly back to the carrier. And the entire fleet moved over here again, and we established the 2. And all 4 diesel electrics are staying here in a blocking motion. Actually, I'll do 2 and 2 with the attack helicopter, with the ASW helicopters like that. Okay, 2 and 2, and then Warsaw Pact will distribute their subs as needed. So now all the way up here in Nordland, I have 2 fighters. The one with short legs, right? The short legs one is already shot down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of them can return to the supercarrier. And the other is just going to land in Svealand. It's just going to land in Svealand. And then down in India, so that's it. Helicopters of combat land across the board universally. Remove the forestall. Oh no. All right, I'm gonna have to figure this out because I'm looking here. He scrambled this ASF into the battle. So I will do corrections offline with my partners. I will do that offline with my partners and I'll roll for him each round. And think what that means. I didn't have any extra hits. He's got at least 1 unit left. We'll figure out what it is and I'll fix it. Apologies. I'll land the air in this battle when that's done. There's no point in doing that now because some of them may get shot down. He's an ASF, for goodness sake. All right, that's my bad. I apologize, Tabletop and Hambone and Black 88. All right, so with that, let me just, this is paused for massive screw up. Let's place units, collect income, because that doesn't impact income, and we'll go from there. All right, built the air base in Western Ukraine. Okay. The ASF is Volgograd, the 2 light infantry, Afghanistan. The fleet in its entirety go up to Marmara. The fleet in its entirety go up to Marmara. There'll be import with the destroyer and the frigate up there in Marmara. And then the military aid fighter can't be sent down here because these guys have already been converted, so it stays where it was produced. It can't be produced here because military aid has to be produced in home country. So I'm just going to produce it in Volgograd, and I'll place it after. Okay. Missile production I'll add to my marker, and I'll include that in the recap. I have corrections to do and status of forces recap for my partners. Income. One more die roll before I make amends for my mistakes in that battle. All right, so my new base, only including India, who joined me voluntarily, is 44. I was at 40 and I added 4. I have 3 points of land zones. That's 2 for North Pac and 1 for Nigeria, so that's what the red is. So that makes them my new base 47. 47 is the Soviet new base income. I don't think anyone goes down for that because that went up because of Pakistan and Nigeria. There were no dollar values associated with NATO land zones. Bonuses. For bonuses, I did get stage 3 computers, so my computer bonus is 5. Oil bonus is 4 for Nigeria. And these are territorial bonuses for North Pac, Akershus, Denmark, and Svealand. That's 1 each. That's 4, 8, 13. 13 and 47 is 60. 60. But now that I'm at war, this marker is to remind me, so I don't mess anything up worse than I already did. I need to roll for the Far East Command. The US and the Soviets, global, we're half of one country. The other half is also at war. We have to send them military aid. So I got to roll, and based on this die roll, I'll take income off. 3. All right, that's good. That's the best as I could do. 1, 2, or 3 says take away 3 IPP. So 3 IPP, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that means I now have 57 cash on hand. 57 cash on hand. I have corrections to do. I'll send that to my fellow players. And then after this will be the US and Tabletop Tactician, who will explain to you what happened and how badly I messed that up and what happened after that. This is Captain G, over and out.